Face front, true believers. This is Modular Media No Price Podcast, where we talk Marvel movies, comics, merchandise, and more. I am your host, Chris Boingo, writer Gaston, and with me, as always, in this bullpen,
Representing the distinguished competition, the Vacuuminator is
we
here.
had some technical difficulties. We got them situated.
And we're back.
Yeah.
We're back, Jack, and we're gonna talk about shit that doesn't rhyme. We're talking about everybody. It's finally happening. We're finally doing it. Oh my god. Boingo,
Shang-Chi.
you are poor.
Yeah, I am.
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi. Uh,
Shang-Chi.
uh, we weren't doing the bit in the first place. We're not doing the bit now.
Please, it's so good. For anyone who missed the first 8 minutes, hi Aki.
Hi, Aki. We
Uh,
had some technical
uh,
difficulties, and we started late anyway. It's been a cluster. It's been a cluster today.
and I think one of my favorites, I'll just go ahead and say one of my favorite scenes in the movie is the fucking plane scene. Because there's a lot of ups and downs, but really good joke of just like making fun of Americans who can't who have been saying Shang-Chi for literal years, and I even still say it sometimes because
Yeah.
I only just found out about Shang-Chi this year.
We did. I still haven't seen Eternals. So we haven't talked about Eternals yet. So
I did try and get him to guess at one of the end credit scene character reveals, and he may or may not have done it correctly.
that puts it up in the air.
You made two guesses. No, you made three guesses.
And it was Man Thing, Swordsmaster, and Sandman. Those aren't guesses. It's me throwing
You
darts at a
well,
wall.
guesses because you also said Black Knight.
He's already an Avenger. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
But I have finally seen Shang-Chi, and it's amazing.
And
I loved it.
I got to see it a second time today, and well, there are a few iffy spots still, in my opinion. I like it much better than I did the first time around. You know, I've had enough time to ruminate on it, and I got to see it a second time today while I was working on my next video. I really enjoyed a lot of the heart in it. I think the action scenes are really strong. Final battle maybe stretches on a bit too long, but that's a thing with a lot of modern movies. Um, and I like all the characters for the most part. In the beginning, Katie bordered on annoying for me, but she got really good when we got into the second act.
I think, honestly, I can understand that, but I think it's mostly just because they are trying to really ram in the idea they are in millennial ennui.
Yeah, and fucking Shang-Chi, sorry, Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi is the same age as me, dude. And I
Oof.
only realized that this time around, and that fucks with me.
Yeah, no, and this man's like 30 years old. He's
Uh-huh.
older than us.
He's a 30-year-old playing a 24-year-old. What else is new?
Yeah. But no, it's great. It's fantastic. It is not a superhero movie. It is a comic book
No,
movie. It is a Marvel movie, but it's not a superhero movie.
it's a fantasy martial arts film.
Yes. And I think I don't want to say that's gonna start throwing people off because we're getting into the best way I can describe it. We are getting out of the superhero stuff with Marvel and getting into Marvel as a general. Yeah, it's wuxia. Is it a very American take on a wuxia? But it is. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. I've only ever seen it written down, and I've never heard the word.
But I mean, like, it makes sense, and it's obviously like where the creators are coming from. Because if you look in the background in Shang's apartment, or I guess garage at the start of the movie, he has two posters for movies that I noticed. One is the fucking Warriors, and one is Kung Fu Hustle.
But like a lot of I here's the thing: Fantastic Four aren't superheroes to me. They're explorers in a uniform.
But a lot of people still see them as superheroes.
Shang-Chi isn't a superhero. He's a martial artist who hangs out with superheroes. Blade isn't a superhero. You know, we're getting a lot of the Eternals. They are They can be superheroes. Most of the time, they're not.
It's like a weird hard sci-fi concept, honestly.
Thank you, Aki. I don't know this shit. I am dumb fuck white boy from America. I try, and I think
Yeah.
that says something at least. I hope.
But it also says something that like you were so in keeping it on track here, you were so engrossed by this movie, as was I, because this movie is very rooted in not Asian, but specifically Chinese culture.
Mm-hmm.
There is a lot of this movie where people are just straight up speaking Mandarin with subtitles, and you got to be here for it or get the fuck out.
I
And
was
I really like that.
genuinely because I wasn't sure of the Disney Plus settings. I got in and it was just the opening
Hmm.
narration was just pure Chinese. I was going like, okay, let me just make sure because it doesn't look like there's any like embedded subtitles that would normally be in here. So it was like, no, it's in the English. All right, whatever. It
And I think they must have had a different file from the ones they gave out to theaters because it was the Disney Plus generated subtitles as opposed to like embedded looking fonted ones that they had in the theater. But I'm
yeah.
fine with that.
I when it's something like this, I prefer embedded ones just because it looks like it's more of a intended package instead of like a
Mhm.
slapdash thing. But that's more
But
of
then again,
a
like, it wasn't a really cool font, I'll say that. It was just like Arial black.
oh gross no
Yeah.
gross no and you do something nice.
Mm, Uh,
But no, and even then we say it's very Chinese and very inspired by wuxia. It is very much a Marvel take, an American take on these concepts, very similar in a way of like Thor is the Marvel take on Norse mythology.
Yeah, but it's also it's a white guy's interpretation of it that is now being reinterpreted by a lot of actual Chinese creators, which I think is pretty cool and makes me feel a little more comfortable liking it so much. Like I only know very basic stuff about Shang-Chi from the comics. I'm going to be doing that the whole podcast. I
Probably.
only know very basic stuff about Shang-Chi from the comics. I know a lot about how he was created. Like, there's like almost a whole chapter about that in Marvel Comics: The Untold Story.
He was one of the most
Um,
popular characters of the 70s in Marvel Comics.
yeah. Um, but I know very little about him, and only just be recently because of this movie did I get the inclination of like I kind of want to get the comic book Marvel Legend of him. And it came out a few years ago, and it was a really highly lauded toy at the time. People said it was amazing. It was a great figure for what it was, but I was like, I don't know much about Shang-Chi, so I don't need that. And now I go back to look at it, and surprisingly, the secondary market prices on it are really good right now, probably because there's such high demand.
Yeah. Aki, the Gene run, is that the most current runs that have been going with Shang-Chi?
I think that guy sounds like a guy I've seen on books a lot recently.
And I'm saying this as again, dumb fuck white boy who's read these characters and has loved these characters that to me growing up reading stuff like that, Shang-Chi, Blade, all these characters from all these different ethnicities and backgrounds, I was like, oh fuck yeah. But there's also there's a growing up you realize it's not perfect. It's not 100% correct.
Yeah.
And
You
I
just think it's cool
yeah, I
because like it's different. It's a weird flavor. Like one of my favorite shows growing up, and I think that's why I was so easily able to get into this movie. One of my favorite shows growing up was American Dragon Jake Long. And there's a scene in this movie that actually reminded me of that show. The breakfast scene at
mm,
Katie's house. I love that scene so much. That was really cool and characterful.
that like anybody has had that conversation with like parents and grandparents, but that was a very specifically Chinese American version of that conversation, and I love that. I loved how it was rooted in what feels like personal experience, but like it's relatable to everybody. But like, I like the idea of like taking these characters that are like almost there that a bunch of white people made and go like, all right, we're just gonna fucking fix them and basically redefine them and make them our own.
Yeah. while also doing a lot of fun MCU stuff and building and whatnot and calling back. Can we just get it out of the
Fucking
way
Trevor.
for Trevor? Ah, my boy. Fuck all you haters. Iron Man 3 is canon and it's good. He came back. I'm so happy.
Yeah, no, it was great. So good. The empty chair conversation, maybe. Kind of like Shang killed the granddad.
Yeah, that's a theory that's been going around a lot is in an earlier version of the script or maybe even it's a deleted scene. Katie's dad is the guy that Shang got sent to kill.
That'd be
Or
interesting.
granddad,
Yeah,
sorry.
that'd be interesting. If that's the case, I don't think that's what is how it is in the current movie as it is. But like, imagine that Shang-Chi hanging out with Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Just that kind of whole thing.
They just have their own PTSD superhero support group.
No, like, just a lot of good stuff, a lot of great things. But on Trevor, I love. I can't remember the dad's name. Because he's not
Wenwu.
Winwoo. Winwoo. I love his monologue about the fucking Mandarin.
Yeah.
Because like that is an entire takedown on the character of the Mandarin, Fu Manchu, all the Orientalist villains and characters, and basically going like, yeah, no, they're dumb, but if,
Yeah.
like ignorance creates a powerful weapon, and I understand the powerful weapon. They're dumb, they're idiots, but like,
And
I,
like knowing that Trevor was going to be in the movie, I actually did rewatch Hail to the King right before I watched it this time, and like it plays so well. It actually does line up pretty well, especially because it's a fucking white dude that is in the prison interviewing him and kidnapping him. Uh, Wenwu's army is like primarily white dudes in the movie, which I found a little odd the first time around, but then I was like, oh, continuity, okay.
yeah, it seemed like a mix. Like I'd say from remembering, it's like it was like 50% white dudes, 50% Chinese.
Yeah. But like I've been adopting that fan theory about Shang possibly having sorry, I'm bouncing all over the place tonight.
Yeah, that's fine.
Shang possibly having killed the grandpa. I actually didn't think of it until I heard Comic Pop talk about it. Sal had that fan theory, and the chat was like, "Oh yeah, me too. I thought that too." Who because he was talking about it on Off the Rack, I think. Uh and I was just like, "Oh, that's yeah, I could totally see that being a deleted scene." Another thing I caught this time around, there's like a look that Xi Li gives Razor Fist during the final battle when they first come blow to blow. I wonder if there maybe isn't a deleted like running joke about them being a broken up couple.
Hmm.
Like when she left, like maybe like when she left, she tried to get him to go with her, and he was like, "Nah, fuck that. Your dad's cool and he needs me."
Yeah, I like how like the Razor Fist and Death Dealer are just like Z-list Marvel characters, and they're like, they look cool. Let's throw them in here.
And then they treated Razor Fist like a, or they treated Razor Fist like a star, and they treated Death Dealer like a fucking mook.
Yeah, no,
Like he got Darth Mauled so hard.
yeah, it's funny. Um, but like, there's a lot of fun things there. A lot of the action was really good. I enjoyed a lot of it.
Mhm.
I don't think there was a scene I didn't like. Have you?
Uh, there's parts of the final battle I could do without. Like I think the extended dragon riding sequences I think could have been cut.
True, fair, but no, I thought the final, like, I thought it was also really cool that they used like a weird, fucking random ass monster instead of like Fing Fang Foom.
Yeah, and like there's still hinting at Fing Fang Foom potentially in the
They
future.
didn't hint. They just fucking basically all but said his name.
Yeah. Ugh.
Because for people
Fing
who don't know, Fing Fang Foom isn't an Earth dragon.
no.
He's from an alien species that all happen to look like dragons.
It's just an alien race of giant dragons. And the Mandarin's rings he stole from Fing Fang Foom, because that's how they drive their spaceships.
So what the rings are doing in this movie, what my guess is they're creating a distress signal to hail Fing Fang Foom to come pick up the ship, and he's gonna go like, "Where's my dude? Where's my dude? Did you fuck up my dude?" Brrr. You know, that kind of shit.
Yeah. And he'll be inexplicably voiced by Benedict Cumberbatch.
No, no, no. You know who Fing Fang Foom needs to be voiced by? Paul Giamatti.
Yeah! Like, sorry, dude, we didn't get you in No Way Home to play the Rhino again, but you can be a big dragon.
No,
Um,
I liked the ending sequence. I can understand it going a little long, but like I was enjoying it as it was happening. You know.
I do like that Katie got a really decisive blow in the battle. Like that whole subplot with her about like realizing being forced into realizing her potential was so great.
But it was also wasn't just like, oh, I want to be an archer. It was, I want to help my friend.
Mm-hmm.
That's her potential, is being a friend, is
And
being.
that's another great thing about this movie is fucking Katie and Shang-Chi are just friends. There's never like a big, oh, I actually love you, let's kiss moment.
No, that's good. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I was thinking Katie was fucking crushing on his sister for a moment there.
Yeah. That's so great that that's like the first thing that happens is just Xylee goes, "Oh, I like your pants." Uh,
Is that kind of vibe. Um, it wasn't
uh,
Madripoor that they go to. It was a different place.
uh, I forget what city it was, but it was an actual city in China.
Yeah, actual city. It wasn't because when we saw those clips in the trailers, it was like, oh, it's Madripoor. It's Madripoor. It's like it's not Madripoor, but
Shout out to Cody, they did Abomination good.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the city name.
Macau. Thank
Macau.
you, Aki, in the chat.
Um, I think there might have been some like Easter eggs in some of the cells, but I don't remember anybody in them.
I just noticed the same things I noticed the first time around with that scene, which was, oh my God, Ronnie Chang is in the MCU. That's great. And then the guy where Katie's like, I like your spike face, and he's like, thank you. Like you're the first person who's complimented me all night, and I was really trying with that accessory.
And it start that for a seedy underground fight club. That is a very wholesome beginning to the scene.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Um,
Also, like I again going back to Ronnie Chang, I just really love that he's basically just playing himself, but as a mob enforcer. Because he's speaking Mandarin, and she's like, "I suck at Chinese," and he's like, "Okay, I speak ABC." Like that's a thing Ronnie Chang would say in his stand-up.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just solid. It's really good. I also like the vibe, the aesthetic of that whole scene, that whole group, those people.
Hmm. Also, something somebody else, jumping all the way to the second end credit
Oh yeah.
scene. Something someone pointed out on Twitter. We now have like 3 or 4 girl boss villains in the MCU, and we still haven't done Sif.
Oh
Or
yeah.
I'm sorry, Sin, Red Skull's daughter.
Yeah.
Like Jesus, where's all this going? Is that gonna be their A Force movie? It's just all these girl villains.
Yeah, because we have Power Broker
Yeah,
over in Falcon Winter Soldier. Now we have this gal ruling the Ten Rings.
yeah. And the new Ten Rings honestly looks aesthetic as fuck.
Oh yeah,
Like
no.
if Modular was gonna be an evil terrorist organization, that's what it would look like.
Oh, no, it's great. And no, I think they're just trying to build up, for lack of a better way of describing it, I think they're trying to build up mooks for Disney Plus shows.
Yeah.
Nazi girl bosses are a fine when they get punched in the face.
Yeah, that's like one of my favorite comic book moments. When I first started reading comics, it was literally like the month they announced Fear Itself. So I was hyped for Fear Itself when it came out, and I read it month to month. And one of my favorite moments in comics is just like fucking uh Sin is like talking to Bucky Cap during the big climactic battle, and she's like, "I can't wait to finally kill you," and he's like, "Lady, take a number."
But no, with like the rumors that Daredevil's going to be coming to the MCU,
Hmm.
because I have not seen anything official from any Marvel channel like that. That can we real quick? That's been a bugbear in my head for the past few weeks. Has everybody been
Uh,
posting that fucking poster with the hard light construct Kamala Khan going like,
uh-huh.
"Oh, look what Disney's fucking doing to her powers." So it's like, did Marvel tweet that? Did Disney tweet that? Did Dave put that out?
Not
No,
that I know of,
no, they didn't do that. Then why the fuck are you acting as if it's legitimately canon news?
because it said Disney on it, and it looks like the lady.
It just bugs the fuck out of me. It's like, why does everybody keep saying no? This is what they're doing. It's like, no,
Also,
it's
could you have not said this to Buster last night?
I don't I don't
We
think
were
I was
talking
there
about
yet.
MCU last night too on components coming out this Friday.
It's just like it bugs the fuck out of me. And in the same way, it's like everybody's going like, oh, fucking Charlie Cox is in No Way Home. No, he's not. Not as far as we are aware.
I really hope so. I
It,
really hope we like just a scene will do me.
yeah, I
But
hope, but like
yeah.
nothing confirmed.
And also like if you're gonna bring over Charlie Cox, honestly, just bring over everybody else except Danny Rand. Just retcon all of the Iron Fist shit, and you'll be good.
Here's the thing. If that guy had proper stunt training and a proper choreographer, I think he'd be fine as Danny Rand.
Yeah, but he literally refused to do it, and he's not gonna do it if they bring him back. So no, don't bring that fucker back.
What do you mean he refused to do it? They didn't have enough time to do it.
Really?
Yeah,
Because the
no, they were
story
on a
I
budget crunch. They were on a time budget crunch.
Okay, because the story I heard was that everyone in the cast except for the lady playing Colleen Wang refused to get martial arts training.
No, as far as I'm aware, last I heard, it was like he didn't have enough. They didn't have enough time to go in depth with anything.
Hmm,
It
interesting.
takes months to get any kind of good at that kind of choreography.
Well, yeah, obviously.
He didn't have months.
Planned better then.
Yeah, no, it was a poor planned show.
Yeah, yeah.
But
It's also like one of those. I guess we're just talking about Iron Fist now. I haven't seen the second season, but the first season is just like one of those times in media where I was not a. I was watching it, and like literally up until a certain major plot change, I was like, this is fine. I don't know what everybody's talking about. It's fairly standard superhero stuff. Kind of reminds me of Arrow. And then the fucking dad doesn't die. And there's that episode that just opens with his soggy undead self just walking around the city and everybody's looking at him funny. And I was like, oh, oh no, I'm 5 feet into danger.
hey, Drippy, we appreciate that compliment. We try really hard.
Thank you, Drippy. Drippy in the chat says we're really good at podcasting, and I don't know if they're being sarcastic or not.
I don't know. I don't care. I'll take the
Because
fucking
it's
compliment.
Drippy. It's fucking Drippy. You never know.
Yeah, but back to Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi.
Yes.
I did it once. Count one fuck
Eh,
up on my end. Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi.
Flippity flippity. I like how honestly I like Wen Wu. I like the dad. He's a
Yeah,
really
he's a
fascinating character.
yeah, because like he's not even quite a villain. The whole movie, you never get bad guy from him. You get asshole, kind of going the wrong way.
Asshole
But
abusive dad who like partly regrets it but also goes like, "Yeah, but look at you now. Look how tough you are." It's that kind of abusive asshole.
mhm. Oh my God, that moment when him and Shang finally come to blows. he's like, "You trained your son to be a killer. Is this what you wanted?" In the theater, I was like, "Yeah, this is like fucking wrestling getting pumped. Let's go, blood feud."
Oh man.
But no, he's great. He's really fascinating. I love the flashback scenes with him, especially brilliant fucking flashbacks in this movie. Really well handled, paced throughout the whole film, and like all of the child actors are really good. Um, I love the scene where he takes little baby Shang to go take out the mob that did the assault on
The
um
compound.
yeah, like that is a brilliant scene. I also just really love, I forget what point in the movie it is, but the scenes when we actually get to see the family being happy for a little bit. And it's like you understand, no, he does have the capacity for good, but he is just, because he doesn't have that anchor that is his wife, he's just instantly falling back on old habits. It's like a drug addict relapsing because for one reason or another his sponsor had to leave the picture for a little bit.
Yeah, there's also like there's a lot of layers to it. It's like to me it felt like he was in the middle of his redemption arc and then it got ripped
Mhm.
away from him. It was like, "Oh, I don't get to be happy?
Well, then
Fuck the
fuck
world."
everything.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the kind of vibe it gives me. Like he was in the middle of the redemption arc. He was in the middle of it. And if like it got to the point where everybody grows up, they're happy, and then his wife dies, he'd have been fine.
Mhm.
But no, she had to die then. And it's like, ooh.
And she had to be killed by people he fucked with. And we're probably like on his fucking My Name is Earl list of people I need to make amends with.
Yeah, no, it is great. It's fantastic. But like there's also like to take another MCU dad, there's layers of like Odin in there. Of like
Yeah.
of resting on the laurels of sins past and trying to sweep it under the rug. We never and like Odin tried to make as much amends of it throughout the movies and through Thor, but Wen Wu never does. He's just like, no, I'm just gonna stay in this compound that I spent thousands of years compiling all this wealth through violence and war, and I'm not gonna think anything of it.
No, no, it's totally fine that the first time I see my daughter in 10 years, I take her under duress and then act like she's a prop.
Yeah, like that's cool. I also like how that's part of her motivation to basically take over the Ten Rings. It's like my dad wouldn't train me because she never went through the abuse like Shang-Chi did.
Yeah.
So she only saw the fact that he was hanging out with the dad.
It's a form of senpai wouldn't notice me.
His dad didn't love me the way he loved you. And even though Shang-Chi would be like, he didn't love me, I was abused, she'd go like, yeah, but he paid attention to you. And it's like, that's a
He
fascinating
he
trio of character.
cared about you. Like,
Yeah,
oh my God, the sequel to this movie is going to be really interesting.
very much so. It's really good. I just like
And,
the
and like
dynamical. Mm.
it's another one of those movies, much like Doctor Strange. I think is the last time I really felt like this, where it's just like I'm really excited to see these characters appear in other things as well as get a sequel.
Oh
Like
man.
I love that this movie just ends in fucking Wong bombing in and going, "All right, bitches, you're in the MCU now. Deal with it."
I also like how Wong is doing it because it kind of lines up with the idea of like Strange is very macro when it comes to magic and everything, and Wong is probably there to help him with the micro.
Yeah, but it's also just cool because like fucking Wong of all people has become a fan favorite that gets like big
Oh yeah,
returns and cameos. That's such a cool thing about the MCU, honestly.
Wong is fantastic. It's
Yeah.
also just like it's just cool to see like Wong be there and not just be like a throwaway gag. It's just like no, he's a pretty important part of the not the plot, but like kind of the set dressing of the world.
Yeah, because like he shows up multiple times in the movie. He has the bit with Abomination, and then he shows up again at the end, and like he's the main driving force of the end credit scene.
I
Um,
like how it's the fight scene with Abomination's framed as like, hey, I'm getting you out of jail so you can because
let
I'm
off
thinking
some steam.
let off some steam as like a form of therapy. I think that's neat.
Yeah. You get the feeling they do that like every Tuesday or
Yeah,
something.
like every other Tuesday, hey, Lankowski, I'm gonna not Lankowski. That's Sasquatch. Rumlow. No.
No, that's fucking Crossbones.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'll Google it.
Thank you. No.
Marvel of Bomb.
I like how we got a continuation of the dude from Homecoming. He's now
Blankowski. Emil
Blankowski.
Blankowski is his full name.
Yeah, Blankowski. Blankowski.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that was fun. That was cool to see. The whole set was beautiful. I loved the way it looked. The glass fucking floor. And Katie
Hmm.
just going like, "Why are you shirtless?"
And he's like, I don't fucking know. Aesthetics, I guess. Look at me. I'm fucking cut.
Like I love how she was surprised. Like, the fuck, bro? You're
And yet he's like, he wears a fucking tight dress shirt to work and does push ups every morning. Like, what?
yeah. That's fun. It's great. I love the dragon weapons. They're like a neat, just simple
Yeah.
thing.
It's weird. It feels like a gimmick for a toy line, but yet the toys don't focus on that. Like, all the kids' toys for this movie are like Power Punch Shang-Chi and shit like that.
Yeah. I I don't mind it, but the Ten Rings are not the Ten Rings from the comics.
Yeah.
Because in the comics, all the rings do different things.
No, they're a very specific kind of thing. I dig it, but like I'm not ultra attached to the Ten Rings for the comics. I've read like one Mandarin story,
Yeah.
so
I I personally like the rings in this. I think it's a really neat idea. Also, the idea of like, oh yeah, of course, a dragon wearing these rings are gonna be huge on their fingers. So
yeah.
yeah, no, you wear them as bracelets.
In the comics, it's just mass shifting, but
Yeah,
no, here
there's
it
some
makes a little
logic.
more
It's cool.
sense.
I like how they accentuate the martial arts instead of just our like
Mhm.
super beams.
Yeah.
And I love the way they characterize the rings when each guy was controlling them, because
Hmm.
when Wu was controlling them, they're very kinetic, they're very punchy, they're very boom, they're concussive. But when Shang-Chi is controlling them, they're like his mom's martial arts, very flowy, very wind-like.
Yeah, and that's a great transition too, because like the one major thing I think we haven't talked about with this movie is the world of Tao Lo, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah,
It's a very cool, fantastical setting that like is a nice way to low key slide in some multiverse stuff.
I like part of me was going like, I want to hear them say like Kunlun.
Mm-hmm.
I would be like,
Kunlun's down the street from us.
no, in this realm, there's multiple places: Kunlun, the Citadel,
Mm-hmm.
like the
Um,
Bazaar.
but yeah, I really like that, and I like how it allows them to bring in some of the more fantastical bits of Chinese cultures. Like
Oh,
there's an actual goddamn nine-tailed fox in this movie.
yeah.
That had me marking out in the theater.
There's a like I love the horsey dudes. I don't know what they are, what their name is in
Hmm.
Myth.
And they got those big lions you always see statues of,
Oh yeah,
which are used like the rhinos from Black Panther, but in a way smarter way.
but it also feels like they're actual members of the community and not just like pack animals.
Yeah,
I
like
like that.
those are dudes. Those are sentient animal. Those are sentient beings.
Yeah. Also, I know it's a real mythical creature, but goddamn Marvin
Morris.
Morris, fucking
Yeah.
adorable.
They have to have sold so many plushies of him.
It is just two corgi butts pushed together.
Yeah, with little fucking peacock wings.
Yeah, it's great.
And like I remember when the Legends wave for this movie was revealed, everybody was going Katie was a Target exclusive, and she came with Morris, and everybody was going like, "What the fuck? Another random Target exclusive just because it's red? And what the hell is that animal? Oh my god!" And like, oh, the wave hit like a month before the movie, and Katie was peg warming in Targets. Like there would be entire pegs of her. Weekend after the movie, Katie became super hard to find.
Is it because of Morris or because of Katie? I hope it's both.